All right, so we're building a computer today because building computers is fun and I enjoy it. And that's what we do on this channel, so I'm gonna keep doing it, damn it. I'm actually pretty excited for this build though. I feel like the last few systems I've put together have been Team Red, so it's nice to switch it up with some Team Blue in the house. We're actually using a Core i9-11900K on the Rocket Lake architecture. It's 8-core, 16-thread CPU, boosts up to 5.3 gigahertz, which is pretty spanking fast. Can be overclocked beyond that, I suppose, if you have proper cooling in place and that sort of thing. We've also got 24 megabytes of smart cache on board. It supports PCIe Gen 4, Thunderbolt 4. It's got all the bells and whistles now, so that's pretty exciting. It's going in this really nice motherboard from Gigabyte, actually, Z590 Vision. Never worked with this board before. Kind of excited about this too. It's very like minimalistic and clean. It's got a 12-phase power design with Dr. Moss. Super high quality. You can just feel like the finish of this thing is just top notch all around, up and down. It's kind of more of a content creator focused board, but absolutely works for things like gaming, streaming, other things like that too. I guess streaming is technically considered content creation, but you know what I mean. Like the CPU, the motherboard also supports PCIe Gen 4 for modern GPUs and NVMe SSDs. It also supports Thunderbolt 4 and Vision Link, which allows you to daisy chain up to 10 Thunderbolt devices with a single cable. It's a pretty useful feature, pretty powerful, especially if you're going to utilize that many Thunderbolt devices. We've also got 16 gigs of DDR4 3733 memory here from Gigabyte Aorus. 3733 CL18 memory. And this is their Aorus RGB memory. Like I said, we're only putting 16 gigs in here, but this board does support up to 128 gigs, which can definitely be useful if you're doing some heavy content creation, like video editing, for example. It also has a pretty nice thermal solution on board, both for the VRM as well as the M.2. These heatsinks look pretty cool. Oh, I'm getting a call really quick. I should probably turn that around. And I think we're ready for our M.2 drive here. We've got an Aorus 7000S, 1 terabyte NVMe PCIe Gen 4 NVMe M.2 drive. It's got a read and write speed of roughly 7,000 gigabytes a second, which is pretty impressive. It also has this really nice heatsink on it that we have to remove because there won't be any room for it once it's under this shield that's on top of the motherboard. Such a shame. Beautiful heatsink. It's also using 3D TLC NAND. If your SSD is ever in a bad mood, just get a little TLC. Okay, we're gonna do the top slot here. So we have to peel this off. This thermal pad tape covers it. I wonder why this tape looks different than these two pieces of tape. Oh well, doesn't matter. This heatsink should pop off now. Oh, there we go. Don't want to drop it. All right, so we want the NAND and controller face up, because that's what's going to make contact with our thermal pad once this plate's on. And do I even need to screw it down? I don't think I need to screw it down. I think it'll just be fine. It'll just naturally press up against the pad. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go, and screw her down. Next up, we're installing our cooler. We've got an AIO here from Gigabyte as well. This is their Aorus WaterForce 360, so it's got a 360 millimeter radiator. Look at all them fins. Not only is the radiator huge, but the tubing is thick with double C's because it's 33% thicker, I believe, in diameter than most tubes on a standard AIO. And we've also got this rotatable LCD screen. It does go 360 or 330 degrees around. So pretty much you can still orient it any direction you like. It's big.
Wow, look at you, Brad. Big.
Intimidating, I'm scared, a little nervous. We've got mounting hardware over here, and I have to remember this is Intel. We need an Intel mounting bracket. Voila. Looks like it's already in the LGA 1200 positioning. So I'm just gonna slide it from behind here. Woohoo! And it should go in, there we go. Like a glove. And then we also have our standoffs. Are these called standoffs? I mean, we can call these standoffs, right? They're kind of like standoffs. Mounting screws, we'll just call them mounting screws, whatever. And it looks like this is gonna be a pretty easy cooler to install. Very familiar mounting method, nothing fancy, thank God. So the thermal paste is for this cooler, comes in a tube, a little plunger here. It's not pre-applied, which I actually kind of like. I would prefer to apply it myself. I don't know, it's part of the fun. And I trust myself more than a factory to put thermal paste on correctly. Was this really necessary to put plastic wrap over the thermal paste? Like, come on. Okay. Woohoo! That ought to do. Not too shabby there. I'm gonna put our retention bracket right here. Beautiful. Don't forget to remove this guy before installation. I don't think I've ever forgotten to remove that thing. I know some people who have, but I don't think I've ever made that mistake. I've gotten close before. It's never actually happened. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. So how do I want this oriented in our case? I'm thinking something like that, because I think I want radiator at the top of the case, since there's already 3 fans at the front. I'll show you guys the case in just a second here, but I think I'm feeling this way. Definitely tubes on the, well, we can figure that out later, but tubes on the right side, I think. It's usually how I prefer to have my coolers mounted. This is just a chill, peaceful build video.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Just a man and his parts. Computer parts. Now I think we're already ready for case install, or the motherboard installation into the case. So, oh, you know what? Before I do that, let me go ahead and mount the fans to the radiator. Where are my radiator screws at? Did it not include oh, there we go. Whew. Give me a scare there for a second. No, it didn't. I have like a million of these. That would have been fine. The fans that come included with this AIO are RGB, and they actually have 3 cables coming off of each fan. But you've got a 4-pin PWM fan connector, as well as 2 RGB connectors. So one's a female, one's a male, but they are 3-pin 5-volt connectors. So you can daisy chain them together, which actually cleans up the cable management quite a bit. And it looks like our motherboard does have a 3-pin 5-volt header, so we'll be able to connect these fans straight to the board and control the RGB software, control the RGB from the Gigabyte software itself. So as you can see, I'm mounting all these fans so that the cables coming out of the fans are all facing the same direction. I'm hoping that this is the right way. I kind of, pictured it in my head where the radiator, how it was gonna get mounted, and I think I'm doing it the right way, but there's always a high chance that I'm doing something wrong, if you guys have been watching the channel for any length of time. All right, our motherboard assembly is finally ready to go into the case. The case that we're using is, drum roll please, the Corsair iQ 5000X RGB. Look at it, she's beautiful. This is my first time building in this case, but looks promising so far. I like how easy the panels come off. I've already removed all of them, that was the last one. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and mount the motherboard in here. I already have pre-installed motherboard standoffs. Thank you, Corsair. So let's just ease her in here. Nice and slow. Aha! Really love that middle standoff there. That helps. It's very helpful. And did I mount this correctly? Aha! Yes, it looks like I did mount the fans correctly after all, because the cables are not visible. They're on the back side. We want to mount it like this because that looks good. Makes the most sense. All right, we're good. And like I said, we already have 3 included fans at the front of the case. These are 120s. From Corsair, and let's mount the motherboard down to the case now. Well, as you can see, we're going with kind of a color neutral build here, using a lot of black, a lot of white, and if I'm looking at the rest of our components that we're using, yeah, it's pretty much gonna remain this color scheme by the end of the build. Kind of similar to the one that we just built at Micro Center, which was mostly white though. I feel like this one is a bit more two-tone than that one even. It'll look nice, trust me. All right, motherboard's in there, and a radiator. Now that I'm looking at this a bit closer, I think before I actually mount this radiator, what I wanna do is install or plug in my 8-pin EPS connector or cable for the CPU. Because look, it's actually being blocked by this little plastic cover. That connector is gonna be almost impossible to get to. So let me get out the PSU cable, got the cable, and I don't think this piece is actually removable. Oh, well, maybe it is. It is. Okay, never mind. Good job, Gigabyte. You thought that one through. Well done. Okay, well, I'm still gonna plug it in now anyway, since I've already got the cable here. It'll still be easier if we do it now. By a lot. Oh, we can't forget about these cables that are coming off of the AIO tubes, where the tubes meet the radiator. We've got a 3-fan splitter. It's nice that they include that, and a 3-pin 5-volt connection for RGB. Ooh, that barely clears, but you know what? Barely is good enough. Oh, this build's gonna be really pretty. I can already tell. All right, be honest. How many of you actually use all the screws and washers for your AIO radiator install? Because lately, actually for a while now, I've only been using 4, 1 on each outside corner. I don't use the other ones in between. You're supposed to use 12 here, because you know what? Ain't nobody got time for that, and it doesn't really make much of a difference. Someone's gonna be like, noise and vibration though. It's supposed to help reduce noise and vibration. I've never, ever had a problem with noise and vibration with only using 4 screws. Ever. Before that, this video is brought to you by cdkoffers.com, a cool website I found for all of your game keys and software key needs. You can find keys for really cheap and they're reliable. And I just so happen to really need a Windows 10 Pro key for a system that I just built. Let me punch in my payment information really quick. Buy now. All right, here's my key. And the system's already activated, but we can just change the product key to the one we just bought. And if all goes smoothly, activate. It works, yay, so super legit. Go ahead and follow the link in the description below, guys, and be sure to use the code BW20 for 20% off any of the keys or orders that you make at cdkoffers.com. Look at that, that's pretty. And now, power supply? Front panel connectors, and then power supply. All right, I just fished all the front panel connector cables through the appropriate grommets and cutouts, and now I'm ready to plug them all in. So we're just gonna do that all at once here. Starting with USB 3.0. Wait, that's not USB 3. Oh, USB 3's over here. Dang it, I have to reroute that. I'll just do that one last. So in the meantime, I can still do USB 2.0. This is actually for our AIO. And then we also have our teeny tiny front panel connectors, power, reset, hard drive LED, that sort of thing. Yeah, I was trying to plug the USB 3 cable into the front panel header. Silly me. It looks different when it's upside down, okay? It actually looks exactly the same. Power. All right, see you on the other side, USB 3. Get out of here. USB 3.1. There you go. And USB 3, here we go. Second attempt, nailed it. Beautiful. Okay, front panel connectors are pretty much installed. Plugged in, ready to go. Power supply is next. All right, I already got my PSU cables plugged into the unit itself. I just went ahead and did that really quick off camera. Is this going to fit? Oh boy, I don't think this is gonna fit, guys. I think I actually need to remove the hard drive cage. There's a hard drive cage with two trays for 2.5 inch or 3.5 inch drives, it looks like. And fortunately, there's just two thumb screws, completely toolless. Pops out really nice and easy. Thank you for that, Corsair. Oh, you know what? And before we actually mount this guy down, I'm gonna turn him upright so we can plug in our CPU cable that we already plugged in earlier. Haha, there we go. Now we can mount him down. Fan face down, because we do have a dust filter at the bottom of the case as well. We have so much room for activities now that the hard drive cage is gone. All right, PSU screws. I should mention this is Corsair's RM850X PSU, by the way. It's fully modular, it's got your standard black sleeve cables, and it's 80+ gold certified, right? Is it gold? Yes, 80+ gold. These holes aren't lining up. I gotta loosen this a bit. And readjust. Come on. There you go. Sweet. Ooh, is one SATA cable gonna be enough? I've got 3 SATA connectors off of this one cable, and I've got one SATA plug here for our built-in fan controller. That's cool, it's got 6 fans, PWM 4-pin headers on there, so we're gonna plug this guy in, so that's one. We also have another SATA cable. This is coming from our AIO, from the Aorus Watermaster. No, what's it called? The Water Force. The Watermaster. They do have an X570 Master, the Aorus Master motherboard, but this is the Water Force. And then we have another SATA cable from the built-in RGB controller on the 5000X, which I think that's our last SATA cable, so we're actually good with this one cable here. Voila, and they're all pretty close together and they all reach and stuff, so good to go on that. Oh, I should probably, you know what, it looks like this RGB controller also has a USB 2.0 header or cable coming off of it, so I'll route that through as well. I like the cable management in this case. I like these big loops, these big hoops to run Velcro straps or zip ties through. Actually very useful. Much easier to thread than, you know, the typical tie-down points that you see on the back of cases. Some juicy Velcro straps included as well. I think it's time to start tidying up our cable management a bit here. So starting with AIO fan, or the radiator fans, instead of using that built-in splitter, I'm just gonna use the built-in fan controller on the case, because there's a perfect number of available headers left for our 3 fans. Probably daisy chain the RGB together as well. Okay, cable management looks okay for now. We can always fix it up a bit more later. I think we're pretty much ready for GPU installation and then finishing off the cable management. I totally forgot about extensions. Let me see if I have some sleeved extensions. I'll be right back. I want white. I think we want white, don't we? Or black. I mean, black could work too. Let's see what we got here. All right, I got some cables in white. These will do. I'm gonna wire these up really quick. Oh wait, is this for PCIe or CPU? Oh. This extension might be for CPU. I mean, is it gonna fit?
No.
It is not. This is for CPU. So we're actually down a cable. We're missing a PCIe cable. I do have this one, but it's a different material of sleeving. I guess it's better than nothing, but it'll look a little off. That's fine. Just don't stare at it. You'll make it uncomfortable. We'll pass these through and then it's off to the GPU. All right, so we're gonna remove this expansion slot as well as the one beneath it. Oh, dang it. Sorry. Butterfingers over here. Whoa. All right, and our GPU, by the way, is the Gigabyte RTX 3080 Ti Vision. Thing's a beast. As the name suggests, it's part of the Vision series from Gigabyte. Oh, I should probably remove this first. That's important. So it actually does match the design language of our motherboard perfectly. It does have like this purple strip here, which is kind of interesting. I'm sure not everyone's gonna be a fan of it, but I don't know. It does add something unique for sure. Here's our slightly mismatched PCIe cables. Totally don't notice, looks perfectly fine. Doesn't stand out at all. You know, actually, apart from being a slightly different color, it really doesn't look too bad from afar. If you're not looking for it, you may not notice it too much. Before I go any further, I should probably screw down the GPU. I don't want that falling out and potentially getting damaged. No, we can't have that happen. So apart from the 3080 Ti having a ridiculous amount of graphics processing cores on board, the Vision model from Gigabyte specifically has a unique heatsink design. It's got a ton of heat pipes, a pretty thin fin stack. It actually has a metallic backplate to aid in thermal dissipation. Sorry, there's ambulance sirens outside. For some reason. We've also got sort of a pass-through area. There's ventilation at the top of the back plate for air to pass through, which is kind of nice. It's using the WindForce 3X cooler that has a triple fan design, and this 3080 Ti is of course using studio drivers. I think we're done. No wait, this fan cable. Okay, now we're done. It's powered on. All right, moment of truth. Let's do this. Power button over here. Go. Thank God. Okay, fans are spinning, lights are turning on. Look at that. AIO graphic, the LCD's going ballistic. Aorus Water Force. Look at that. Okay, look, it's interesting. Oh, you know, it's kind of refreshing to not see any RGB on the GPU or the motherboard. Like, something worth considering. If you just hate RGB, I mean, obviously you can still disable all of the RGB elements that are in this build, but some people are just so vehemently against it that they don't even like the fact that there's LEDs built into their products or into their components. So if that's you, if you subscribe to the no fun category in the PC world, Vision 3080 Ti, Vision Z590 board, no RGB. Actually, I take that back. There's a sliver of RGB, it looks like, on the right side of the IO shield, not the IO shield, the IO cover plate of the motherboard. But it's like it's weird. It's kind of like on the right side, so you don't really see it unless you're looking at the board from a really sharp angle. It's kind of a quirk, very quirky. But that's the only ounce of RGB I see between both of those components. On top of that, I don't think this system could be any quieter than it currently is. It is almost dead silent. I can barely hear it. It's a faint whisper, and I'm literally right next to it, point blank. Side panel completely off, all this ventilation here. If the AC was on in this place, I would not be able to hear it. It would drown this out completely, even on like the lowest fan setting or whatever. It is very, very quiet. While I can't get around to it in today's video, I think this build would look really cool if all the RGB lights were purple to match the GPU. And look at that, the AIO water block already has purple lighting around it by default. It's like the two were made for each other. How cute. Yeah, I think that was pretty much all I wanted to say about the build, apart from how you can potentially win it.
Whoa, what?
It's a giveaway system, so I'm giving it away. If you're watching this video at the time of upload, then it's either gonna be tomorrow or 2 days from now. But Paul and I, Paul from Paul's Hardware, my good friend and fellow YouTuber, are throwing a charity stream for the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles on June.
Look at his lips!
June 26th, which is a Saturday. It's gonna start at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Paul's gonna be streaming to his YouTube channel on Paul's Hardware, and I'm gonna be streaming from my Workhorse Twitch channel. I'm gonna put links to all that stuff and more information down below in the description for you guys to check out. And during that live stream, we're gonna be giving away a bunch of stuff. He's got his own PC that he's giving away along with some other hardware. I'm giving away this system in full. It's gonna be US and Canada only for the PCs, and we've got some international prizes as well. But that's just because shipping something like this overseas is is extremely expensive. Yeah, if you guys want to enter to win this PC, make sure to tune in to the charity stream. It's going to be on, again, June 26th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We're going to go for about 10 hours or so. So maybe from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And during that stream is when we're going to be sharing the giveaway links for you guys to enter. So make sure you guys tune in. It's for a great cause. I'll put links to everything you need to know about and information down there in the description for you guys to check out, as well as parts to everything we use to build the system today as well. I'm out of here though, guys. Thanks for watching this one. Toss a like if you enjoyed it. Get subscribed for more tech content on the way, and I will see you guys in the next video.